Todd, I think the President and the Congress have been suckered into a really bad decision. The decision to train and arm so-called moderate Syrians over in the Middle East and to go after ISIL without troops on the ground, but with American military people there, I think that's a bad move. I think we've done exactly what ISIS wants us to do, and that is send Americans to hostile territory so they can either be captured or killed, and either way, ISIL wins. I think it was a bad vote on the part of the President. I realize he's caught between a rock and a hard place, but to acknowledge that we're going to send troops over there to train other people and arm them, I'm not sure that was a smart move on our part.
Well, we can start with the constitutional aspects of this, and since World War II, the United States has never actually declared war against anyone, which I think is a terrible mistake. Our military leadership and basically the President have said we are at war with ISIL, ISIS, Islamic State, whatever you want to call them. I'm of two mindsets about this, and it depends what day you talk to me. There's some days where I say, why are we back over there? We shouldn't have been there in the first place. It's a mess. We don't understand it. I've lived there. Believe me, we don't understand how the Middle East works in Iraq and Syria. And on the other hand, I also know that with the Kurds, who I lived and worked among, they're good people. Their backs are up against the wall. You know, they've seen what's happened to the Yazidis and others in the region. And, you know, we are partly responsible for the mess that's there. So part of me thinks, well, maybe we need to go in there and do something. There are no easy answers here. Is ISIL a threat to us now? I don't think so. Could they be in the future? Yeah, I think they could be. What we do about it and how we do about it, there's only bad choices among worse alternatives.
And I don't disagree with that analysis. I think sending arms, that sounds fairly simple. Training sounds fairly simple, but we've had experience in Iraq and Afghanistan where we went in and helped train people, and then those same people turned around and killed our people, and it happened often. And I'm not convinced that even though these so-called rebels, Syrian rebels, that want to overthrow the Syrian government and fight ISIS and ISIL along the way, they could be our enemies 6 months from now. So giving them arms and giving them training, to me, doesn't make any sense.
Which is exactly what we saw. A year ago, Assad, the leader, the dictator in Syria, public enemy number one. Now, but responsible people say, well, maybe we ought to be working with Assad because he's the best of a bad lot. Things change, and that is part of the Middle East. You cannot pin down exactly what their motivations are. The boots on the ground, we have boots on the ground.
Yes, we do.
And particularly if an airman goes down, we're going to have more boots on the ground to extract that pilot. And then what happens? What if the rescue crew team gets captured? You know, if we were giving weapons to the Kurds, I have full confidence in the Peshmerga. They have a good track record, they're loyal, they're hardworking, they're dedicated, they're fighting for their homes. But what we saw with the Iraqi army, we spent a lot of time and a lot of money trying to train those folks, and what did they do? Dropped their weapons and ran.
Which is why, one of the reasons why ISIL is so well armed right now, because that's our stuff they're using on their people.
And I guess maybe one final note. Good luck finding moderate Syrian rebels, whatever in the world that is.